Anand, very happy to be with you and the esteemed panel members. Generally there is a practice in Sanatana Dharma of performing havans, homams. So you keep repeating the same mantra time and again. It's called avritti. So this definition of Hindu and Hinduism, even if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I'll be telling, because I've been telling this so many times. But for the benefit of the viewers, listeners, there are many learners, avid learners.
Yeah.
The word Hindu has two different ways that it can be derived. One, when it comes from the West. When I say West, I'm not talking about the US and Canada, large parts of Middle East and the European subcontinent. And the other connotation comes when it comes from China, which is our East. So when it comes from the West, it came in terms of geography. So this entire geographical land, which was to the side of Sindhu. In Sanskritam, Sindhu is a river. Sindhu actually means the ocean as well. So when the river looked so wide, people thought momentarily that this river is the ocean. So salt is referred to as Saindhavam because it comes from Sindhu. It is derived from ocean. So this large piece of land, geographical mass, right from Kanyakumari to the tall ranges of Himalayas, that which extends till Brahmadesham, which is Myanmar, which was all called for the people from that side. Europeans, the Middle East, people who came from the Sumerian, the Mesopotamian civilization, is the land of Sindhu. And it is a practice known in the Indian language itself, which is blatantly seen today, that certain letters are absent. For example, in Tamil, Ra is not found in any other language. The letter Va is not found in Bengali. So every Va is replaced with Ba. Similarly, very, very possible that the word Sa was replaced with Ha. One. When it comes from China, it is a lot more authentic because Huenzhang says this land which is the land of stable knowledge. In Jyotishya Shastram, the graha who is responsible for stability of knowledge is Indu, which is moon. So everything right from Chandrama Manaso Jataha to Chandramauli, who's Shiva, everything is associated with the moon as well. We have many festivals from Paurnima to Amavasya going from Indu. So this is referred to as the land of Indu, moon. Interestingly, this sentence of Huenzhang has been verbatim quoted by Pandit Sri Jawaharlal Nehru in the Glimpses of World History, where he says this land of the Indu later became Hindu. So let's not go till Persian, let's not go till the languages of the Middle East. The Sanskrit word itself is Indu. Now, so this Hindu, Sindhu is Hindu, later has a nest to it. For example, Anand, just for the knowledge of the listeners, I'm sure many of them will be very well learned. In the Upanishads, it's stated Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. While commenting, the Acharya state Satyatva, Jnanatva, Anantatva. The Tva is a suffix which means ness. Cow ness is Gotva. Similarly, to be a Hindu is Hindutva. Now the beauty is the civilization and the country, Anand, is much, much bigger than any political party, any individual. So in the course of attacking a political person, a political party, inadvertently or advertently, certain political leaders resort to dehumanizing, abusing the religion itself, which I think, all that I can do as a person who preaches about the scriptures is pray to Indu, who blesses with stable knowledge, to add stability to their minds. Two important findings or observations that I have had in the last 10 years as a public speaker on ancient scriptures. In the last 5 years, the demographics of people less than the age of 40 listening to traditional lectures has been increasing. There's been a beautiful awareness, the enlightenment campaign that's happening organically on its own. There's no denial about it. I'm witness to it. The second thing is, while you were talking about this transition from ancient Guru Sishya Parampara to the modern education system, the way we see it, we are recipients of it, we are victims in a way. That's because 15 generations before, when our ancestors found a lot of merit in the education system, the Western education system, the transition was very abrupt, Anand. So it was like leaving away Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava from Taittiriya Aranyakam and Upanishad, and suddenly going to finding the case of Jack and Jill who were tumbling down the hill. So it was a sudden transition. I feel now the transition from the modern education system, if I perceived your question right, to the rooting of our Sanatana Dharma should not be abrupt again. Again, we should not end up going from the concrete rooms of our school suddenly to a banyan tree. I feel we should have a balance of both, because to reach out to the outer world, we need foreign languages. But to get rooted, we should appreciate the Indian classical languages. So we should have the best of both. It shouldn't be a sudden transition. That will be a big accident. It will lead to a disaster. But I feel as much as a child learns about maybe a fountainhead of Ayn Rand or something like that, they should also learn about Narayaniyam of Bhattadri and Raghuvamsham of Kalidasa. It should happen on both. And there are many change makers who are doing it. They are unsung heroes, of course, waiting for their Padma Awards. A lot of them have been celebrated. There are many people who are doing such silent work, such good work. So I think the transition should not be drastic. It will be a disaster. It should be very organic, so that the students do not realize that they are actually learning the best of both worlds. And 2 points. One, in the due course of explaining Agnihotra, Aryabhatta says Chaturadhika Shatam Ashtagunam Dvasashti Ayutascha 62,832 divided by 20,000. Use this value to create the Agni Kundam, which is 3.14. So just in the due course of explaining Agnihotra, he talks about the value of pi. Just while describing the holy sandals of Ranganatha in the 13th century, Vedanta Deshika states, I am solving the knight steward problem of the chessboard, which is called Chaturanga Turanga Bandham. So we have wonders in our past, there is no doubt, but there is a flaw in our ancestors. They were very humble. See, Vidya Dadati Vinayam is a statement that we often keep stating. We have wonderful content. We have never packaged it in the right way. See, for example, I often tell some of my listeners, scintillate, scintillate, you minuscule asteroid in the vast expanse of the splendid sky. You know what is this? Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Little star.
So you complicate simple things, you are deemed an intellectual. So probably our ancestors had that blemish of not exaggerating simple things, which the West did. One. Second thing, while we are talking about this narrative building across the spectrum, across the intellectual class as well as the political class about the word Hindu, Hindutva. Now I'm sitting in Delhi, Anand, with you. But there's been always a complaint from the people of the South that most of the channels are very Delhi-centric. So that's where I would like to state that there has been a huge narrative to distance the ancient Tamil literature from Hinduism itself. Nobody has concentrated in the last 70 years, and it's so deep-rooted now. When someone comes and tells me that Thiruvalluvar was not a Hindu, the Alvars were not Hindu, Ilangovadigal was not a Hindu, I'm just left to look myself into a mirror whether this is daytime or whether I am dreaming. Because all the scriptures of the Tamil literature, Tamil, one of the oldest languages which our Honorable Prime Minister has often quoted, there's a Kashi Tamil Sangamam which is happening as well. It is more Hindu than what Hindu can get. It is more Vedic than what Vedic can get. But sadly, in the last 70 years, that narrative has been let to grow so much, and it's so deep-rooted that it is taking a lot of efforts from us to actually come. That's where Sri Ram Madhavji said that Dushyant is getting a platform. I'm getting a platform to tell that I come from the beautiful land of the Tamil, which is more Vedic than Hindu than any other scripture. So that narrative should also change. But again, Anand, just to conclude my point, in those days when there used to be a premise set for a debate, you remember the days of Adi Shankara where fresh garlands would be put around people who were debating, and as they would lose, the flowers would wither. So today we need to have a CCTV camera recording of such narratives, and people who lose should write it on black and white and say, I will not bring this topic again. Again, this question of Hindu, Tamil, Vedic should not be asked. They should give it in writing. Let them lead a happy life. Let's play for their livelihood. But they should not rake up this topic because it's an intellectual debate. If you do not have facts to present, you should have the audacity to lose.